On September 30th marks 3 years since I moved to Amsterdam, and honestly, it feels weird to think about it. Hola, I'm Jar, and if you're new here, welcome. 10 years ago, my wife and I decided to sell everything we had and leave our hometown. Since then, we lived in 4 countries, 6 cities, 12 apartments, and now, 3 years into it, Amsterdam is the place that we stay the longest. So, in this video, with the help of my friends, we go through the things that we like and the things that we don't like as much about living in the Netherlands, and some other things more. So, yeah, let's get started. Alright, full disclosure, before we start, as you can see I have a whole nother set of clothes because this is a different day. The initial idea for this video was to record the different parts of this video on different parts of the Amstel, the river that gave this city its name. I did that for the intro, but then as I started to go to other places, I started to get super self-conscious about filming and talking to a camera on the street. I'm just not that kind of YouTuber, you know? So I decided, fuck it, I'm gonna do it at home, and even here, I'm outside, I'm kind of self-conscious about my neighbors hearing me talking about this thing. So yeah, let's get started. So to get started, let's talk about the thing I love the most about living in Amsterdam, and that is freedom. And this word has a slightly different meaning for me here. Like freedom in a sense that I can just hop on my bike and go anywhere. I mean, that alone is one of the biggest perks of living in Amsterdam. Like, you literally go and do everything on your bike, like to get groceries, to go to a party, to meet friends, to go to a bar. You just don't need cars, you don't need public transportation. You just hop on and ride, you know? I mean, I always had a bike wherever I lived, but here the relationships with bikes is on a whole different level. I mean, from the rich people to the broke student, from the young kids to elderly people, everyone rides it, like sunny summer days or freezing rain or wind beating you sideways. You will still see people outside riding their bikes.
I feel very happy that I don't have to own a car. I used to live far away from the city center back home, so nowadays I'm really enjoying being able to just hop on a bike without worrying about parking spaces or narrow streets.
It is usually the fastest way to get to a place, and it's very inclusive as well. Senior citizens, they can bike till they're 70, 80 as long as they have the capacity to do it, and they have almost the exact same mobility as we do.
Because the city itself is just so well set up and so safe for you to bike around, which is such a free sort of feeling.
It's more than a means of transportation. If you think about like people that cycle in other cities, you need to be a cyclist. And here you don't need to be a cyclist. You just cycle everywhere. So it's more like a way of living, and it also makes me experience the city in a different way.
Freedom for me also means that I can bring my camera anywhere hanging around my neck without fear. That I can pick up my phone and put it on a bar table without panicking. That I can walk back home at 3 a.m. without feeling unsafe, you know? I mean, that I can go anywhere and do almost anything without overthinking or taking heavy precautions, you know? For a Brazilian like me that has his home and his car broken into, that has been robbed more times than I can count, that means a lot.
The main thing, I think, is safety. I think it's super underrated thing that I often struggle to explain, especially to people that are from Europe.
And of course, being a woman coming from Brazil, São Paulo, I feel very safe to go out with friends and stay late and then bike home. Even in places that are not like super crowded, I still feel safe.
And it's not just me. I mean, you can feel it. People are out walking, biking, enjoying the city, like museums, concerts, parks, bars, they are always full. If the sun is out and it's not freezing, you can bet like almost every single person in the city is out. And when it's sunny and cloudless, Amsterdam shines, man. It's not only one of the most beautiful cities that I've ever lived, but one of the most beautiful cities that I've been to.
And I also like how international it is. I would say more here than any other city in the Netherlands. You meet people from all over the world.
People are coming from all walks of life, all kinds of backgrounds and nationalities, and how it's quite easy to make friends here as a non-Dutch person. It feels like a big village where people are very connected.
But it doesn't really feel tiny, you know, there's a lot of stuff going on. There's a lot of bands that come to Amsterdam, which is important for me. It feels safe and relatively welcoming, I think, as a non-Dutch person. The level of English spoken here is unbelievable.
I feel like people here really value their free time, and they have very strong boundaries around work times. So that has helped me kind of be a little more healthy in that sense.
I get the impression that people live life at a slightly slower, more intentional pace in Amsterdam, and there's an appreciation for balance, for personal time, for being outside. And I feel Amsterdam encourages you to slow down and enjoy small things.
And yeah, it's just a really pleasant, stress-free kind of city to live in.
Okay, now into the not so good parts about living in Amsterdam. And the one thing I hate the most about living here is how every single thing is so fucking expensive. Like, yes, you do make Dutch money and my salary is not that bad, but still life here is pricey. Like groceries, daily costs, taxes, everything costs you a lot. Some things like are okay, for example, taxes. You actually see it reinvested in a city, you know? But other things are really hard to justify, like healthcare, for example. My biggest, I hate it. You are obligated to pay for healthcare every single month, and it's not cheap. But when you actually need a doctor, good luck. I mean, unless you're dying, the answer is always the same. Take paracetamol and rest. Like, you have migraine, paracetamol and rest. Broke your leg, paracetamol and rest. Your house burned down, you lost your wife, all your possessions, have a broken arm, and you need both psychological and medical support, paracetamol and rest. Yes, I'm joking, but I'm also kinda not. You'll be shocked about how many people have the same story here. I've been through it for a couple of times, but my wife, she had it worse. She was fighting for a surgery she desperately needed for the past 3 years since we got here. And every single visit to GP was the same story, paracetamol and rest. It was really stressful, even emotional, and we at some point considered flying back to Brazil just so she could get treated. Until she finally got it like 2 months ago, but we literally had to fight for it.
I also don't like the health system either. When you need like a specialist, it's very hard, very slow, and you have to go through a lot of people and get told no a lot of times, and kind of really try to convince people that you need help, and wait. But once you get sort of the right person to pay attention to you, actually things improve a lot.
They consider this as a very precious resource, so they set the bar really high for whoever gets the care, and I understand that can be super frustrating. However, I do think when you get the care, when you receive the care, when it's deemed necessary for you, the quality of the care is good.
And rent? Forget about it. More than half of my salary goes for it. Just so you know, like, one bedroom apartment inside the city easily costs around 2,000 euros these days. And also the competition is brutal. When we got our place here, our landlord told us that they had almost 300 applications, which by that point I didn't know if they like us that much or if they just put our names out of a hat or something, you know. So yeah, you pay the price for living here. Sometimes it's worth it, but most of the times it just makes you broke. Like, saving money here takes a real effort.
The housing situation can be really exhausting and disheartening to navigate. The competition, the high prices. It's very unpredictable, and it can take a toll on you because it makes something that should be a basic human need. It makes it feel like a luxury or like a fight.
Amsterdam has great restaurants, a very nice, like, modern culinary scene. The problem, I think, again, is it's not really accessible. So that makes the general feeling about food not great. I feel frustrated that everything here requires kind of a good amount of planning. You can just really walk into a place that is not like a bar or sometimes even a bar. Yeah, you have to learn how to book stuff and carrying a calendar for socializing and stuff, which is very common among the Dutch, and now I understand why.
The lack of late dining culture. This really takes out any spontaneity of stuff that I want to do. It's also like very hard to sit in a restaurant without a reservation. I get really angry that I can't just go anywhere and have dinner, and I have to plan it in advance and I have to have it booked. And many times for underwhelming food.
And I find that the price does not really matter. You can pay a lot for a very underwhelming meal. You need to get good recommendations where to go or do a lot of trial and error yourself.
One thing that I miss a lot is nature. We can't really drive an hour or two and go on a hike, or we can't really drive an hour or two and go to an amazing beach. Like, sure, we get beaches, we have shorelines, but it's not the same, right?
I really hate having to use this as the thing that I don't like, because it seems so obvious, but it's the weather. It's hands down the weather. Like, it's just disappointing at best, and, you know, can kind of ruin your day at worst. It's something you think about constantly, and you plan for it, and you have these apps that tell you when it's going to rain.
And it's not the cold, it's the amount of time during the year where the sky is cloudy, and I feel like the clouds are so low in here, and it gets a little bit claustrophobic for me. And after a few weeks of having that with no sun, it starts getting really, really difficult.
I arrived here during a summer, and I really thought the way people acted around the sun was almost like a cult. Like, I don't know, it was kind of strange to me that people were making such a big deal about the sun. But now, after being here for a while, I understand how much you do miss it when it's not there for so long.
Okay, to finish things off, I'd like to mention one more thing that I like about living here, and that is Europe and how easy it is to travel through it. Like 1 hour on a train in Belgium, and I don't know, 2 hour plane ride, you are in Barcelona, Lisbon, Italy, you know? And tickets are kind of cheap. I mean, if you want to go for a long weekend, you can pick another city or even another country, you know, which feels wild to me still, because like back in Brazil, a 2 hour trip means you're still in Brazil, you know. I used to feel weird about it when my family back home asked like, what are you doing this weekend? And I was, you know, I'm gonna go to London for a friend's birthday. Or, where did you get that? And I'd be like, we went to Paris last weekend and I bought it there. At first I thought I sounded like a spoiled asshole, but here it's just normal for everyone. Still, I find it really special.
And there's always this kind of relief and comfort I feel whenever I'm coming back from a trip. Like relaxed feelings, like, oh, yes, I'm home now. I feel like this is home.
This is the most beautiful city in the world when the weather is nice. It is truly incredible how good the city looks. It really makes it all worth it.
Is how absolutely gorgeous it is. Not just aesthetically beautiful city, but it's also very well designed. Like, you can tell that people are the priority. So like there's lots of little neighborhoods, and within each neighborhood you can find a little bit of everything. So that's all across the city evenly.
You know, having like this sort of love-hate relationship with the weather, but it can be very charmingly moody some days. There's a coziness in the cafes and the rhythm of the city that can make up for that gloominess.
Dutch summer is amazing. Job opportunities is also great. How international it is, amazing. And how everything works, the infrastructure works. Like the city is very mobile, all that I love. and fall turns around, and the color's beautiful, and then winter comes around and you start to hate everything.
I do love Amsterdam, truly. Like, this is a city that I never thought about living in or even visiting, until I had a chance and I fell in love like instantly. That being said, do I see myself living here forever? Probably not. I know at some point I want to go back to Brazil and grow old closer to my family. And maybe before that, living somewhere sunnier with an ocean that I can dip into. But for now, I'm not leaving, not anytime soon. Despite the lows, the highs are very high and life here can be chill, like cozy even. It's funny because Amsterdam, despite being a big European city, is also super small. It can feel like a big village sometimes. And the friendships we built here really make you feel home.
I would say Amsterdam has this rare mix of being both vibrant and very chill at the same time. I'm not from Amsterdam originally, but it is my city. It feels like my city. But I can imagine at first it can feel a little bit closed off, especially socially, and especially if you're not Dutch. There's this Dutch bluntness or reservedness that you can experience, but people are honest. They value directness, and once you break through that sort of initial layer, the connections you make can be really genuine.
This is where I call home now, and this is where I feel the most at ease. I love the comfort the city gives me, but I'm so glad that I'm here. I chose to be here.
Amsterdam is a really beautiful, multicultural city with great architecture and cute canals, and I'm generally very glad that I ended up here.
Because this is such a beautiful city, even if you are feeling a bit upset or sad, then you can kind of just look out anywhere that you are in the city at a building or the canals at night when they're all lit up, and it just looks so beautiful that you kind of forget all your problems. You forget everything that's bad in your life, and you're just like, oh wow, what a beautiful city this is.
So, yeah, 3 years in Amsterdam. It hasn't always been rainbows and sunshine. We face some really dark days in here. I mean, literally. We have a lot of gray and rainy days in here, and winters can be rough, and it's coming. But still, overall, pretty damn good. And we're gonna stay for a while. I mean, at least until we can still pay the rent.
No matter how many times people try to explain it, I will never understand Eurovision. I don't know how it works. I just don't know why. I don't know why it exists. I don't really like the songs, and I don't think I ever will. And I'm sorry. Maybe it's just not for me.